stop him at this point. They're not trying to beat his ass. They're trying to be like, dude, stop. Like, you're going to get in trouble. Okay? They are trying to separate him from a much larger crowd. I can't believe how much this funniest video derailed the stream because chatters are so rule of law coded. Not my kind of autism. No, a lot of people look at that and they think, I'm going to do the No King stuff first. Okay? Denver No Kings protest maggot eats shit chasing protesters. Wait, is this in Denver? I thought this was in New York. I guess it was in Denver. I saw this clip. It is pretty funny. It's a little sad. It's funny, but it's also a little sad because, like, I don't know. I feel like when I see like an old person fall, it still kind of makes me feel sad about it. It's like seeing like a fat kid get bullied. Maybe because I'm an old person and I see myself falling like in the same way. It is karma though. Let's take a look.
Let's go, Ice!
Yeah, not Mitch McConnell. Not Mitch McConnell. That shit's funny as hell.
God bless Trump! God bless Trump!
So you had a bunch of small business tyrants, it seems. And I know there's a little bit of blood on this video, but it's not like it's not so significant that it's like it's not so significant that it's like TOS. I know blood is clearly visible, guys. Shut up. It's not a TOS violation. Calm down. So yeah, these guys, these old guys, they try to do like a little counter protest on their own.
Ride your bike, you fag! Go get a job!
This skater guy steals his glasses, and then this guy skids on his own while he's trying to chase him. It's so funny, okay? Dude, I love this because he just literally slides on his face, okay? Oh, God. Oh, my Lord. That was crazy, okay? There was a sheriff's convention this weekend. It was full of dad cop boys. He just ate it. Now, the second time, someone may or may not have accidentally tripped him, okay? Because, you know, the second time is much worse. But you'll see in a second. He gets up. He says, you know what? That's not enough for me, okay? That's not enough for me. I need more. I need more of this. So that's the first down. Second time, I don't know what happened there. I can't tell. I just don't know what happened there, but it just seemed to me like he accidentally slipped and fell again. Slipped and fell on someone else's. Oh God, Solon. He accidentally seems to slip and fall. Okay, it must have been the wind type shit, and just pile drives face first into the concrete, into the sidewalk, which is bad. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all. Okay, that's not good at all. That's really bad, and it's also very scary. Luckily, he's got he's got the hoggiest of all skulls. He's got hog skull. Okay, like perfect hog skull. And what I mean by that is like he might actually that concrete up. You know what I mean? The way he just like dove head first into it. Okay, because look, he just gets up. And people at this point, like people that are holding him at that point are not even like holding him to beat his ass. They're like, dude, stop. Because I looked through this, I watched the video a bunch, okay? And it's very obvious because I was like thinking like, what would I do in this situation? And I probably would go up to him and try to tell him like, dude, you have to stop. Like you are literally like you're in a dangerous situation. And I don't think you actually realize how dangerous of a situation you're in. Okay. And that's like what the people around him are trying to do at that point. Even the guys that are like very clearly a part of the anti-fascist protests, like they're trying to communicate to him that he is in danger. He's going to fall or he's going to like start a mob and get his ass beat.
You guys are going to get your ass beat if you don't quit. I'm serious.
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Back up, man. You ran into me. What the?
Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
He just wants his glasses back. I think he wants more than his glasses back. I think he wants to get his get back. Okay. And while I, of course, disavow I disavow. In a crowded environment like this one, okay, you have no control over the situation. You have no control over the situation whatsoever. You went there to like specifically to specifically piss off the people that are protesting, and you put yourself in this you put yourself in this position where it's like very obviously a dangerous environment, okay? Politics are also on the wrong side as well, but it's like, even if your politics were on the right side and you went to like an active Nazi rally as an anti-fascist, you know, it would be a little bit more defensible, considering that, you know, I agree with the anti-fascists on principle and on the motives, but I would still say, like, it's very dangerous to present yourself as a singular force surrounded by a bunch of oppositional figures who will flip and beat the out of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a level of self-preservation. And before people say like victim blaming on this, okay, if he wasn't like, you are better than this, what do you mean? If it wasn't Hasan, stop falling this low, we should not act like MAGA. He uses freedom of speech, tripping him for it to laugh because he failed is not okay, even though he said disgusting stuff. We are better than this. Come on. No, like I said, I disavow it. It's very dangerous. He could have actually himself up way worse. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is that this is a stupid thing to do regardless. Like, you have to be a little bit more self-aware. He thought, being MAGA, that he was an unstoppable force, okay? And then like a skater guy just like with him. It's like a kid. Like, it's very clearly like a teenager who's with him, and he doesn't chase him because this is like the most important thing that has been stolen from him, like a familial heirloom or something. He chases him because he feels embarrassed. It's all ego, okay? Before Americans get on their like draconian shit for a brief moment and say like, oh, dude, you know, this is a theft. This is a theft. He has every right to like try to apprehend the person. It's like sometimes the person that is wrong politically could be wronged as well, but also he is not making the situation better for himself at all. Okay? Like, if you go there and you try to like antagonize people thinking that like nothing can happen, sometimes things can happen, is what I'm saying. And while it is inappropriate, okay, and it's very dangerous to do so, you got to have a little bit better, you got to have some more self-preservation instincts. You know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about? Is that, am I crazy? Like, it's common sense, no? Like, you're like actively trying to agitate people, and then you're around teenagers. Well, yeah, one of them is going to with you. 100%. I've been in situations like this. There have been instances where teenagers have tried to with me as well. You just got to avoid it. You have to control yourself, okay? But even his starting position is like, you know, he's behaving like an animal. Don't mention that stream. I'm still mad about it, lol. Yeah, like the Bill Clinton kid, Matan. When I was at the Writers Guild strikes, he came up and he like tried to do a bit, and I didn't give into it. I didn't like acknowledge him. You know what I mean? And the reason why I didn't do that is because what am I supposed to do? Beat up a teenager? What are you, crazy? No, it's a teenager. It's a little kid. Like, what are you supposed to do? You can't do anything. Like, if the starting point of the story is, yeah, I was harassing a bunch of people and slurring at them, and then a teenager stole my glasses, if that's how that story ended, everyone would look at you and be like, well, okay, you shouldn't have done that then. But a lot of people, for some weird reason, especially liberals, look at the situation and go, well, he was just exercising his free speech. It's actually completely insane that like someone stole his personal possessions. It's like, okay, well, let's dial back a little bit. Okay. If you were to explain this story and you're like, yeah, I wanted to show those goddamn libtards what's up, and I just kept calling them the F slur over and over again, and then like some random teenager stole my glasses, yeah, people would look at you and go, that's a little silly, don't you think? If that's where the story ended, and he didn't like give chase, you know, that's what would have taken place. Dang, free speech means nothing, huh? brother, that's the most favorable to his position is what I'm saying. But while we can look at something on paper, and say, oh, this on paper looks wrong, human beings don't operate that way, especially in a chaotic environment like a protest where you are very clearly a right-wing counter-protester trying to agitate. Okay? That's why I have so much respect for protest marshals, like during the college campus protests that took place against Israel, where they actively would not allow agitators to go into the encampments for this reason. That's it. Like, I don't think we need to behave in this like incredibly neurodivergent manner where we're like, well, I'm a rule-abiding citizen and technically he did everything by the book. Like, he was slurring at a bunch of anti-fascist protesters, and that's totally and that's just like constitutionally protected act of free speech. Like, I mean, yeah, it is, but that's just not how things work in the real world, is my point. If someone were to walk up to a bunch of like Black Lives Matter protesters and started saying the N-word at them, what do you think would happen? For example, right? Marshals are cops? No, protest marshals are not cops in the student encampment chatter. What are you talking about? They're just the protest organizers. I think that the counter for the other person that the counter for the other person that tripped him, who probably will get arrested if he hasn't been already, like they probably found who he is and they arrested him subsequently. But the if I was on his defense team, I'd be like, well, I saw, you know, a dangerous person chasing someone, and I wanted to safely try to stop them in that pursuit before it like got out of hand or something. You know what I mean? That's probably what they would say. But ultimately, a lot of these other people, what is this, brother? I'm not trying to be that person. I'm simply trying to tell you, please don't say shit like this. This isn't a clip for, this isn't for a clip. This is for you and our community to avoid it in the future, because this is how people own you. No, I don't. Okay. I'm going to repeat myself one more time. I don't think it's appropriate for someone to trip an old person and have them pummel their skull in the concrete. But beyond that, okay, there are numerous points of de-escalation coming from the person, the individual party that was wronged, where this could have been handled very differently. Okay, for example, number one, he doesn't have to try and agitate people, right? He doesn't have to try and agitate people at a No Kings protest, but he did, right? He did do that. And then secondly, when some skater teenager steals his glasses with him, he doesn't have to give chase instantly. Okay? Like, that's what I'm saying. We are becoming like incredibly we're looking at this in this like very black and white way, where I'm saying human beings, especially in a chaotic environment like this, don't operate that way. Self-preservation is important. Okay? Part of the reason why he doesn't have any self-preservation in this moment, even though like all these other people are trying to stop him at this point, they're not trying to beat his ass. They're trying to be like, dude, stop. Like, you're going to get in trouble. Okay? They are trying to separate him from a much larger crowd. I can't believe how much this funniest video derailed the stream because chatters are so rule of law coded. Not my kind of autism. No, a lot of people look at that and they think like, no, this is, you must condemn and then move on. You know what I mean? This unlock feels manufactured to get you to over-explain why we don't care that someone defended themselves against a homophobic harasser. Yeah, I just like...
You guys are gonna get your ass beat if you don't quit. I'm serious.
Hey, get your buddy. Get your buddy.
Back up, man. You ran into me. What the fuck?
Hey, don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Trip his ass. Trip his ass. Fuck you. Get out of here. You, dude. What are you doing? Get out of here.
Like, the last dude in the Bernie Bro shirt is very me coded in this situation. Like, I was looking at this and I was like, that's exactly what I would be trying to do to him, like, in this moment, to be like, dude, stop. Like, you don't understand. Like, this is a massive crowd that you are surrounded by. I don't think you realize, like, with your lead poisoned brain, you're seeing red currently, but this is going to go very south for you, okay? He's like, dude, they're gonna kill you. Get out of here. Like, stop. Like, that's That's what it is. That's what's going on. They're trying to de-escalate. And he's like, nope. He's like, nope. Like, look, he's de-escalating. The guy finally understands what's going on and reaches back and is like, okay, never mind. I just want my glasses or something like that.
I don't want you to get hurt more than you are. I don't know where they are. Buy new glasses.
It's just like, the worst part is the boy probably traveled to Denver for a Giants game and they lost too. It's wild to me that the party at Castle Doctrine and self-defense laws don't think it'll get used against them. Yeah, this is what I have. This is unironically one of the things that I try to describe in like the Kyle Rittenhouse situation as well. Once like the first shot is fired, okay, when you have a weapon, then the second person that tries to apprehend you with a skateboard, when you shoot that person, I know the courts obviously weighed against my position on this, but it was the same principle in the Kyle Rittenhouse situation. In a protest, people don't know what the fuck's going on. They just see a dude with an AR-15 shooting at people, and they want to try and stop that person from killing others. Okay? They don't know what your background is. They don't know if you were like initially apprehended or not, you know? And the same goes here as well. You're like trying to fucking swing at a bunch of people. They are going to try to stop you. They are going to try and stop you because they think you are trying to attack a fucking crowd of people. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like a lot of people in the moment from afar, a lot of people don't realize what the mentality is in that very moment of a lot of the onlookers. Okay. For a lot of people that are there, they just see like this one fucking random guy trying to swing at a bunch of motherfuckers out there. Y'all need to watch that new Netflix documentary, The Perfect Neighbors. So good about a case that they try to use your standing ground and lost. Unavoidable, unfortunately, unless we didn't allow random people to carry assault rifles in large crowds. So yeah, impossible. Anyway, I haven't finished Mussolini, Son of the Century yet because I am on the last episode. But yeah, that was one of the incidents that took place. AWS outage spotlights the global economy's fragile foundations, going back to it. Amazon Web Services, the biggest cloud computing provider, went down Monday morning, crippling thousands of services from some of the biggest companies on Earth. For When You Cover Gaza After No Kings, breaking news, Al Jazeera reveals Major Sean Glass, commander of the Vampire Empire Company within Israel's 52nd Battalion under 401st Armored Brigade, gave the order from inside a tank to open fire on the car carrying a Palestinian child, Hind Rajab, and her family, as well as on the ambulances trying to rescue them. Jesus Christ. Yeah, a bunch of companies went down apparently. Everything is connected. Everything is interconnected to AWS, obviously. Hold on. Let's remove this paywall real quick. AWS outage was DNS, is always DNS. Cloud engineer who uses AWS daily. US East 1 data center in Northern VA is AWS's most capacity and most used region by far. If that one has issues, even a seemingly minor one, then that can cascade and cause significant problems throughout the internet, since a lot of companies host their sites on US East 1 specifically, maybe other regions as well. Yeah. Everything's computer. Everything is Amazon Web Service. But obviously, this highlights how fragile the internet is. AWS outage spotlights the global economy's fragile foundations. Axios reports AWS, the biggest cloud computing provider, went down Monday morning, crippling thousands of servers on Earth. Why it matters: for all its complexity and size, the global economy is fragile. Breaking just one weak link drives big disruptions online and in the real world. This is also something that is important to recognize in terms of how much labor power exists out there. Okay? Because of our incredibly interconnected system, even one sector in the supply chain can cause major disruptions. Something very important to consider for the labor movement that remains in this country. Okay? Just understand. Like, this is why I always say we have a lot more power than we think we do at our disposal in terms of gumming up the works, in terms of making demands. It's just that capital owners recognize that, which is precisely the reason why they've done everything in their power to disrupt any sort of labor militancy before it ever happens, and ruin any attempts to even create a network of pressure in the form of labor unions that could ever do collective bargaining or work stoppages. Okay? Why it matters: for all of its complexity and size, the global economy is fragile. Where it stands: Amazon's East Coast region, responsible for a lot of the internet, was the culprit. Zoom, Venmo, WhatsApp, and many gaming, banking, social media, and consumer sites saw large spikes in reported outages, according to the tracker down detector. The east side, or what am I saying? The site said more than 11 billion people worldwide reported issues with more than 2,500 companies as of 12:45 p.m. EST. This was the biggest AWS outage of the year. Amazon said it addressed the problem, but as of early afternoon on the East Coast, many websites are still experiencing disruptions. Just three massive cloud providers, Amazon, Microsoft, and Google, serve as the technical backbone of the internet. Millions of people and thousands of companies rely on each one. This is a recent phenomenon. Businesses used to have their own data centers, but outsourcing that infrastructure to big cloud companies is cheaper and more efficient. Between the lines, computer systems have always had glitches or failed. What's different now is the centralization risk, says Corey Quinn, chief cloud economist at Duckbill, an AWS consulting firm. This is a problem with corporate consolidation. This is a problem with every sector. Corporate consolidation is exactly what every mega company wants to do. All companies want to merge and acquire one another until they're one ginormous singular force, okay? At least an oligopoly, or at best a monopoly. And right now on the cloud server, like web hosting side, we have, as the Axios article correctly reports, three major providers. That's it. You have Microsoft, you have Google, and you have Amazon. Amazon AWS, Microsoft's is Azure. I don't know what Google's is called. I guess it's just Google. I don't even know what the fuck it's called, right? Google Cloud Platform. Thank you. Okay, so those are the three major service providers that are basically the backbone. That's why it's like virtually impossible to protest or refuse to be off of like the Amazon train in its entirety. This is something that I've described to people when they're like, "You work for Amazon, like you're literally a direct participant in Amazon's cruelty." And it's like there is virtually no way outside of utilizing Amazon Web Services. Okay, so this is part of the reason why. A lot of these services, if they are going to become monopolies, need to be controlled by the government. That's at least my assessment. That's at least my take on this. Okay, because otherwise we have delegated tremendous power to a handful, a bunch of different capital owners, under the notion that as long as they continue to be incentivized by the profit generation structure, they won't fuck around and use this awesome power against us, right? The big picture: it takes a crisis to make invisible pieces of critical infrastructure visible, both online and in the physical world. During COVID, we all got the lesson and importance of the supply chain, learning that silicon chips power much of our stuff, and basically just one island, Taiwan, makes them. The crisis also uncovered the overall fragility in the just-in-time economy, where business kept just enough inventory on hand so any delay could cause massive disruptions. We effectively try and squeeze all the fat out of various interactions. At some point, you start getting to the bone, Quinn says. Yes, but these outages happen to Amazon infrequently, says Mike Chappell, who teaches cybersecurity at the University of Notre Dame. There was also a major disruption in 2021 that affected everything from Disney parks and Adele ticket sales, Bloomberg reported at the time. Most companies design their services with fail-safes. They can handle breakdowns. That's far more expensive for smaller firms. They are more susceptible. Amazon is investigating the cause of Monday's outage. Axios' Avery Lotz reports. Cybersecurity and cloud experts said the company typically does a deep dive and learns from its mistakes. Hopefully, you never have the same kind of failure happen twice, Chappell says. This is also going to be a problem when there's no oversight or transparency. We will never know if an increasing amount of these failures are due to the use of AI or due to all their coding infrastructure. Yeah. From what I understand, there's still parts of this that haven't been like completely solved, completely fixed. And, we'll see where it goes. But I just wanted to look into it a little bit further. All right. Let's get to the No Kings protest once again. Where the heck is it? All right. These are all here. First and foremost, Donald Trump, as we covered when he first posted this, Donald Trump is a child. He has a child's brain. Many Americans have children's mindsets. We already know this, but there's perhaps no better evidence of this reality than Donald Trump's AI shenanigans. Donald Trump, this past weekend during the No Kings protest, posted this AI video where he is flying a fighter jet. I'm just going to show you the video itself, okay? That's right. That's Donald Trump dumping fecal matter from a fighter jet while wearing a crown on top of a bunch of protesters in New York led by friend of the show, Harry Sisson. This, of course, made me feel some type of way. Harry Sisson, in spite my best attempts, has gotten the Trump notice before me. Very fucked up. It led me to spiral. It caused me to think, am I washed? How is this possible? How is it that Harry Sisson would get the Trump notice before me? Diaper dumping Donnie. Yeah, I can't believe Harry Sisson got pooped on by Donald Trump before me. I have felled off. Okay, I have felled off. It's very clear. But anyway, Harry Sisson then posted, can a reporter please ask Trump why he posted an AI video of himself dropping poop on me from a fighter jet? That would be great. Thanks. To which J.D. Vance replied to Harry saying, I'll ask him for you, Harry. Because this fucking administration is run by morons. Childish morons. Okay? What are we doing? What are we fucking doing? How is this? Like, this is the most powerful country on the planet still. Okay? Think about that. I'm not like Mr. Institutionalist, okay? I am not. Why are you mad Trump ain't shit on you? I'm just a little mad because Harry Sisson got the notice before me, but that's like me just memeing. I'm more so mad about the fact that this is what the administration is doing, and I'm doubly mad that while this is what the administration is doing, okay, the reception on actions like this, no matter how fucking childish it is, no matter how stupid it is, no matter how silly it is, no matter how much this is supposed to highlight how little they are doing, how little the Republicans are doing to solve any of the financial crises that average Americans are experiencing, the base seems to love it. Do you understand? The base for Donald Trump loves this shit. I look at this and I think, oh my God, how can the Democrats be losing to this? Okay? This should be a moment of self-reflection, self-criticism, and to instantly change everything that the Democrats have done so far. You should be looking at this and going, how the fuck did we get here? Okay? How is it possible to lose to this? We have a million different severe crises in this country, and one of them, I think, is the anti-intellectualism that has run amok. Okay, like Donald Trump is gutting SNAP benefits and subsidies for Medicaid. His administration, at a time when people are like really suffering from the cost of living crisis, is making things more costly for the average American. And all they need to do is just like meme like this, and the base goes, hell yeah, brother. Yeah, as long as you're locking up Mexicans, and doing this kind of funny, haha, Hakeem Jeffries is a Mexican AI videos, I'm with you, brother, all the way. This should be an opportunity to highlight the lack of interest in the administration in solving any of these like material problems for the Democrats. The Democrats should be using this as a opportunity to radicalize the base further, to actually pull some of these Republicans away from the Trump administration, away from the MAGA movement, to be like, dude, these guys are deeply unserious. They don't give a shit about you. Oh God, I love me some fucking hogs, baby. When are you going to thank Trump for freeing Palestine? Oh God, beautiful. Beautiful oinking piggies in my chat. I get so excited at this. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. When he actually liberates Palestine, I will thank him. Okay? In any case, they take more to give their kids more. Can Americans just be adults and not rely on politicians on what to think? That's just not how it works. People need leadership, okay? And it's very obvious that there's a severe gap, or there's a severe leadership crisis on the left flank in our current existing duopoly between the Democrats and the Republicans. The Republicans are just like memeing and shifting people's priorities away from the things that actually matter, while worsening their living standards and living conditions. And the Democrats are seemingly incapable of addressing that. That's a major problem. People need to be directed. People need to be led. Because if you don't do that, then there's just a lot of anger and a lot of animosity and a lot of resentment that's just out there with no productive output. Okay, that is my anger and my resentment on this story. But that was not the only thing that happened with the No Kings rallies. Obviously, the No Kings protest took place, the largest single day protest in American history, which is pretty crazy, all around the country. A total of, I believe, 7 million people, many of which were actually boomers, as a matter of fact, took to the streets to express their discontent for as long as they can.
Americans came together across the country on Saturday to protest against the Trump administration. The No Kings movement, as they call themselves, claims our country is in danger of sliding into dictatorship. Torian Small reports now from Washington, where hundreds of thousands gathered.
From Times Square to L.A., millions turned out for the No Kings Day of protests, pushing back against what they call abuse of power by President Trump.
This is what democracy looks like. We don't like what's happening under the current government.
Demonstrators called out Trump's policies, including his crackdown on immigration, domestic use of the military, and environmental rollbacks. In D.C., 22-year-old Eva Menaggio said she felt the day was about unity, not hate.
Everything here is so beyond positive. Like right over there's a dance party going on. I don't know how anyone could say this is a hate America rally.
Dude, this is my favorite thing, by the way. Another hog take, or at least someone who's been duped. No one in the chat has formed the thought on their own in the last few months. Why did they show clips from 2017? I love this because, one, he just immediately goes, everyone here is sheep. Unlike me, I fell for a lie that someone told on Twitter. Okay? I know exactly what this guy's talking about. There was a lie that was circulating on Twitter about how like MSNBC actually showed a previous protest from 2017 with the aerial footage, and it actually wasn't the current protest in Boston. Okay? I don't know why they chose to lie like that. Okay? I don't know why they chose that particular Boston protest to claim it was actually false. I mean, I get the energy behind it. Like it was someone, it was clear that like someone felt insecure, you know, some Republican felt insecure. I don't know where the lie was conceived initially, but Grok has once again misled ex-users by falsely claiming that this viral video of crowds yesterday at No Kings protest in Boston, which ran on Ali Velsh's program on MSNBC, is from 2017. This has led some users genuinely believing that the video is old, but Grok's assertion is incorrect. The video was filmed during yesterday's protest in Boston. The exact same aerial view of the crowd can be seen in multiple other videos of the protest in Boston posted by local news outlets yesterday. Reverse searching multiple frames from the clip brings no results earlier than yesterday, which means that the clip isn't old and first appeared online yesterday. Okay. Breaking. Analysts are calling this the biggest protest in American history. It's far bigger than any rally Donald Trump has ever had. This is Boston. Rallies like this are just happening in cities big and small all around the country. Let's go. It was huge. And I guess like people felt some type of way. They felt like kind of insecure about how big the protests were, even though like the New York protests were also massive as well. Bro fell for the rage bait. Wait, what? What do you mean? No, you fell for the rage bait, I think. Are you now just saying you were pretending? Is that what it is? Really? That's what we're doing? We're backpedaling? That's funny. Oh, I was just pretending to be fucking... I was just pretending to be stupid, dude. I fucking got you. Anyway, I think this story is actually more consequential because of the misinformation. And the reason why I say that is because, like, while this guy is obviously feeling a little embarrassed by it, and that's the reason why he's like, I was only pretending, dude. You know, while his opinion is obviously obviously irrelevant, there are a lot of people who thought that this was fake. Okay, there were a lot of people who fucking thought that this was fake. I don't know what this is. I don't know why you're showing me this. Anyway, and it's really wild. It is really wild to me that you can have journalists directly broadcasting from a massive protest, and you can have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people arrive at an area And then people online could just say it's fake. And then that's all it takes. Like, I don't know how many people actually went there. Okay. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but it seems like, tens of thousands, if not 100,000 people are in this like massive area, which means that they were there. They can like confirm it. And yet on the internet, you can just say, nah, this shit is fake actually, because you're biased and you personally believe that it's impossible to get this many fucking liberals to be offended enough by the administration that they're actually going to go and participate in a mass mobilization initiative such as this one. And that's all it takes for people. They go, nah, it's fake. And I think we're in a very dangerous place right now. We're in a very dangerous place because people refuse to think critically about this stuff. Like, your own personal biases online are way more important than than reputable outlets giving you real-time coverage of events that are taking place. I don't know how to deal with that. If we do not have a established mechanism of discerning truth, if we don't have a reality that everyone is on board with, we're fucked. There is no consensus truth. There is no consensus reality. We're fucked. People can just literally say, nope, I don't believe it. And if enough people, given their political biases, can decide what you can see with your own two fucking eyes is actually fake, we are extra fucked. I don't know how we move on from this. I don't know how we redesign a functional society if a decent chunk of the population decides like, what I can see with my own two eyes must be fake because it makes me feel bad to think that it's real. Add to that how easily artificial intelligence chatbots can also continue this malicious framing, like Grok, right? Cooked. Because people would rather trust Grok than they would trust their own two fucking eyes and their own brain to think critically. I don't know what to say. It looks like X admitted it misled its users within hours by late afternoon, October 18th, after cross-referencing with BBC Verify's real-time analysis and additional sources like the AP and Reuters footage. I issued an updated response. Upon further verification, this video is authentic footage from October 18, 2025, Boston protest. Crowd estimates from multiple outlets, including drone imagery, placed the attendance at 20,000 to 30,000. My prior assessment was based on incomplete initial data. Apologies for the error. The correction was posted directly on X and pinned to relevant threads. Except it's too late because a lot of people already ran with it because it corresponded to their biases. The initial bias there is there's no way this many liberals showed up against Donald Trump because Donald Trump is the best president of all time. If you're MAGA and you're online, as many extremely MAGA people are extremely online, you go, oh, there's no way this many libtards showed up. Okay? There's no way this many people hate my big, beautiful president. They must see it in the same way that I see it. So when reality doesn't match their expectation, they go, I don't want to believe this. And they will grab onto anything that tells them, you're right. Actually, this was fake. You're right. Actually, this was from 2017. And not a single person even needed to massage the narrative by like trying to find an alternative. No one even came up with like what protest from 2017 this actually was. They didn't even do that. They just simply said, this is fake. It's from 2017. And everyone went along with it because they wanted to believe it. Okay? They wanted to believe that this is a lie. They wanted to believe that this many people didn't show up. And then once they are met with the truth once again, and people go, you're wrong. This is just not how it is. What the fuck are you talking about? They just double down. They just fucking double down and go, okay, well, or they say, oh, I was just rage baiting. This is a terrifying prospect for the future of this country and for the future of the planet, really. I don't know how we bring back critical thinking for every single human being in this country, but it is a necessity. I think Ted Cruz repeated it to respond to Elizabeth Warren, but deleted it already. Now, this also is a byproduct of like people spending more time on the internet than they do in the real world, right? And what I mean by that is if all of the back and forth communication is happening online, or if most of it is happening online rather than the real world, and you have no interest in going outside and checking the temperature, right? And you are much more, you have this high proclivity to lean into your biases, okay? And you find yourself in this like funnel of radicalization, then the real world might as not matter. If we are just always online, then the shit that people make up online is more important than the truth. It becomes the truth. Because there is, like I said, a necessity for a consensus on what the truth is. And while Ted Cruz deleted this tweet, it seems, or it's still up, why are Dems dishonestly sending around a video from 2017 claiming it was this past weekend? It's got 15,000 likes. Boston has been defying kings since we threw the tea into the harbor in 1773.
Millions of people across the country marching as we speak against the policies of President Trump. This is Boston. Look at that. We'll continue to follow these rallies throughout the day here on MSNBC.
I don't know why they chose Boston. I don't know why they chose Boston to say it's wrong. Rage baiting, by the way. Oh, he's still at it. Because you know you are wrong, Mongoloid. Wait, what? He wasn't rage baiting. Oh, that's so surprising. Why do you still live in the USA if it is so shit? Can we watch some ISIS videos? Well, when are you? No one in this chat has formed a thought. Why do you show clips from 2017? We show that it's not from 2017. He goes, Lemau, bro fell for the rage bait. This many. A country of 300 million could muster 30K at most. Omega lol. Well, I did. No one take pictures of the other protests then? You could just answer my question. First of all, not only did I attend personally the Los Angeles one, but I covered all of the different protests that took place all around the country. And there were massive protests happening all around, numbering around 7 million. That is the largest single-day protest in American history. Now, will it be consequential? Will it actually change anything? I think it's the beginning of change, okay? But notice how he went from, oh, I'm just rage baiting you, when he was, yeah, the left is the easiest to rage bait. Again, he's doing it again. Brother, are we the ones that are being rage baited? Or are you actually angry as fuck? You chose to come into this community. You chose to come into this community and chirp. You got called out for lying about something so easily disprovable. You felt embarrassed enough to actually go, I was just pretending. I was just pretending. I was just trying to troll. Haha. And then you kept doubling down and tripling down. First you moved the goalpost by saying, oh, it's 300 million people. I can't believe they mustered only 30K in Boston. The notion that like they were supposed to bring 300 million people to Boston. Incredible stuff. Thank you. Okay. And then you said, well, did no one take pictures of the other protests then? Once again, not realizing that, no, they did. They did take pictures of the other protests. Just because you didn't see it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And you are continuing to angrily try to respond to people. And when you're not getting the response that you want out of these people, myself included, you turn around and you hit a fucking slur, right? You get banned for using the slur. Then I unban you and you immediately go, XD, I'm just rage baiting again. No, man, you shit your pants and everyone is telling you you're stinky and you're going, stupid libtard, I shit my pants to own you actually. Okay, well now you're sitting pant full of shit. You're a poopy boy. You're a little poopy boy. Everyone is pointing at you and laughing. You didn't have to do that. You didn't have to be a poopy boy. You didn't have to be stinky. Now you got Dookie in your drawers. Did you hear about the Tel Aviv soccer shit? Yeah, we'll talk about the Maccabee soccer shit. How did he turn so evil? Seems pretty normal at first. What do you mean? Hello, chat, I'm new. Where free college tuition is also not free. What is your take? Trump is crashing the economy. Horrible. Toyota Giga Chat. People who glorify military scares me. Why is she streaming with us on? Oh, this was Pokimane. Sent from Pokimane's channel on the GP3. Pokimane, don't do it. Anyway. This was a good exercise in how a lot of people operate. A lot of people who think they're free thinkers, All right, well, bye. I'm out. It's getting late. My return tomorrow. Hopefully, when you return tomorrow, you'll be a little bit more open-minded. Now, the thing here is, okay, a lot of people who think they're actually free thinkers are behaving like mindless sheep without realizing that they're behaving like mindless sheep, including that guy who is tuning in from Europe, which is ironic. Euro chatter LARPing as like a MAGA Republican, or falling for like the dumbest the dumbest American psyop that doesn't even require much. Motherfucker who's never been to Boston, hasn't seen any of the other major protests that took place, making up his own mind because he got duped by like a bunch of right-wing accounts that simply said, ha, this is not real, it's from 2017. This should be a learning opportunity. If you have the capacity to still feel shame, this should be an opportunity for you to go, I need to be a little bit smarter next time around. Okay? I need to be a little bit smarter next time around so I don't get so fucking easily duped. What led me to be so easily duped? Why was I so quick to believe in this really silly narrative without actually thinking critically about it? If you do that, you won't get so easily duped next time. That's how you become a critical thinker. That's how you become an independent thinker. Okay? A lot of people who want to be free thinkers, a lot of people who fancy themselves to be like independently minded, right? Oftentimes are at the mercy of biased narratives. This is why it's very important for someone like myself to constantly cover right-wing narratives. A lot of people say, Hasan, why do you look at Fox News more than you look at like CNN or liberal media, things of that nature? It's because you need to understand how the opposition thinks. You need to understand how they arrive at the conclusions that they arrive at. It's very important. That's one of the most consequential things that I do here, is that I look at propaganda from both sides. I look at what liberals are saying. I have my own personal position that I will always reveal to you ahead of shy about it. I think that's the most honest thing that you can do when you are a media figure in general. Okay, and you can make up your own minds in the aftermath of that. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people would rather have someone tell them how to think and believe in false narratives rather than actually critically thinking about these issues. I think it's a huge problem. To be fair, critical thinking requires you to pull out of your brain's default mode, and for people who aren't used to actually having to focus on something, it can be difficult. I find that as long as I hold to the bias that all humans are inherently equal, it allows me to view most things critically. Yeah. Mehdi Hasan said the same thing on the topic of how he prepares to debate MAGA. American chatter living in Germany, take a wild guess why. Do you have any advice for people like myself that are struggling with a system they can't escape regardless of how they feel about what's going on? Make friends and organize and be the change you want to see in the world. You can do it. You can actually get a bunch of other people around you to take the initiative and slowly but surely make this change. What is this? So-called free thinkers when mom brings out a cozy blanket? What? You just wanted to show me a cat meme. It's so hard to make friends in Germany. I doubt it. Did you see Jon Stewart's writers insert a subtle Kaige reference? No. Really? That's so stupid. You're so dumb. Anyway, let's continue. So millions of people protested. But for what reason? Because a lot of people on the left were also mad. I saw a lot of people chirping on the left. Part of the reason why they were chirping on the left was because, obviously, a lot of these protests were very liberal coded. It wasn't actually, there weren't like any sort of decipherable demands, it seems, from some of these places. Obviously, this required a tremendous amount of organizing, and different local groups were participating in it. And some of the protests in different places perhaps had a different attitude towards like pro-Palestinian protesters, for example. Other places didn't do that. Other places had protests being led by anti-Zionists, right? And people were like, oh, this is just vibes. This is just vibes. This is just basically a parade, right? This is just a vibes-based thing. It's just a parade. I have a different attitude about it. Okay? I have a very different attitude about it. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. I already alluded to it before while I was in the process of attending one of the protests, the one in downtown LA in Los Angeles. But I think this is a good opportunity, just like the Bernie Sanders Stop Oligarchy rallies that are taking place. A good opportunity to mobilize. But mobilization is the first step in this process. I see this as a necessary first step in the right direction. Okay? Obviously, if it's just left, obviously, if it just stops there, then it's nothing, right? It's just a way for people to yell at an administration that's not listening. But clearly, the administration is listening. Clearly, they don't like it. So even the reaction coming from the right shows that they are fearful, okay? These protests, these non-violent protests, are the first step in organizing. And it is up to us, people who are socialists, leftists, Marxists, to try to organize people at these protests, to try to get them to move into a more reliable network of pressure, a more reliable network of pressure that will move the needle in the appropriate direction, that will pressure the Democratic Party to take more radical steps that are considered radical, that are not really radical at all when you think about it. Okay? It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen magically. But this is a good opportunity. Every liberal you talk to at these protests that demand more from the Democratic Party is a liberal that you can communicate with, is a liberal that you can be like, listen, there is an alternative out there, okay? There is an alternative out there. There is a different way to try to make sure that we keep up the pressure and we set clear-cut demands against the administration, and we have some sort of mechanism to show the administration that we are an undeniable force, that there are more of us than there are of them, okay? This is an opportunity to recruit. And before people say, well, okay, you get them signed up with the DSA, but the DSA is also electoralist, and it actually is a reformist institution, it's revisionist, and it doesn't matter. All they want to do is just like elect new Democrats. These things take time. Even if you are a revolutionary vanguardist Marxist-Leninist who believes that there must be a militant response, okay? In the absence of class consciousness in this country, and in the absence of the language of revolution in this country, many people who might even have that kind of attitude, who might even come to that recognition, are not going to realize it if you're sitting at home tweeting, okay? It's that simple. It's that simple. And it might not happen today, and it certainly might not happen tomorrow. But as long as you are still moving the needle in the right direction, as long as you are still designing the future for the next generation to take over and to seize the opportunity, you're doing the right thing. And you have to keep pushing. You have to keep up the pressure. This is why I kept saying throughout the entire last 2 years of Israel's seemingly unstoppable genocide. Go recruit some new Hasan cult members, lost too many during Collargate. I know, it's really devastating. Throughout the last 2 years of unstoppable genocide, I kept saying, this is not the time to stop. This is not the time to succumb to nihilism. This is a time for revolutionary optimism to keep up this pressure. If this pressure went away, you would be giving in to some of the worst scumbags. If you can't find that energy from within to do the right thing because change seems impossible, then you should remember that they want you to stop. You should always remember that you can be vindictive, and that can also motivate you as well. Some of the worst scumbags want you to give up. Some of the worst scumbags want you to shut the fuck up. Okay? That's it. If you only believed what you preach, says Maximum Ape. Yeah, I know. If only I was a real one. Well, I guess I'm a fake one. What does that say about you? Let's continue.
Many Republicans called it exactly that, including House Speaker Mike Johnson, who described the protests as anti-American. But not everyone at the rallies supported the theme.
Well, I basically like the direction that we're going under the Trump administration. I want to hear everybody's voice. That's what this way.
I fucking love the median voter, bro. I love the average Trump guy. Okay, I love the average Trump guy who's like, well, I got to hear him out, Love that. I fucking love that guy.
Know what's real.
The president trolled demonstrators with social media posts, including this AI video of himself flying a fighter jet and dropping brown sludge on protesters.
It wasn't brown sludge. It was poop. It was dookie. It was dookie, man.
Spoke with reporters last night.
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. I'm not a king. I work country great.
For CBS Mornings, Torian Small in Washington, D.C.
I feel like No King's a bit of a leftist litmus test. Like, if you think hating everything and being hypercritical of people who are liberal anti-fascists is a way to reserve revolutionary purity, that's just silly. 100%. And this is like, ironically enough, this is what was like kind of blackpilling for me the other day when I was like complaining and being like, oh my God, the left is just like so fucking unbearable. I hate the left. I hate socialism. You did it. Remember that like little rant that ironically enough, everyone online thought was because of like Kaya or something and it had nothing to do with that. It was just like me doing political commentary about the left's inability to seize the moment and seize the opportunity to move the needle in the appropriate direction. Had nothing to do with like a drama slop or anything like that. And it was really funny. People were like, oh, he's crashing out. Like his own fan base fucking hates him because of we got to him. His own fan base hates him because of Kaya or whatever the fuck. It's so stupid. People are so dumb sometimes and so easily susceptible to fucking stupid ass narratives. It was actually about, not even necessarily about Graham Plattner, but more so about how like hypercritical leftists oftentimes will just like write off people for wrongs that they've committed in the past without actually recognizing that like, you need to win everybody, okay? You need to win as many people as possible to your side. The reason why I always go back to Gaza on this front is because there has been some success in this initiative, and that success happened after decades of no movement whatsoever, okay? Like, you have to get every single person on your side. It's that simple. There's no other way to win. Do you think MAGA Republicans shy away from people when they go, I don't know, this guy might be a woke pussy libtard, actually? No, they don't. They love it. They love it when like some fucking weirdo is outed for like being a rapist and then goes, oh, I'm Christian now and I love Donald Trump. And they're like, oh, hell yeah, brother. Welcome to the fucking battle. Now, I'm not saying we should do the same thing. Okay. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you have to understand, if like people are sincerely making change within themselves, if people are sincerely coming to your side, there is no, like, you are not serving anybody if you are just immediately casting them aside and saying, nope, you're fucking imperfect or you've done horrible things in the past. Fuck you. Okay? Obviously, people will grift, but trust me, they're not fucking grifting to the left. You need to understand that. Maybe in the future, if there is a real sea change and we go back to peak woke or something, maybe then you'll see people grifting to the left. But even then, they'll at most grift to liberalism and not to the fucking left. No one grifts to the left. Okay? Everybody hates the left, including leftists. That's it. We need to stop being so fucking purity driven. It's not. It's poisonous for organizing. It's poisonous for bringing people on board. We just have like there's a reason why a lot of people associate us with like hyper woke, annoying nuisances. Okay. It's just silly. It's silly. Bring people on board. Okay? Always be accepting of those who are open-minded. You are not cooler than anybody else because you arrived at this fucking position before anybody else did. Okay? And at most, and this is something that I've said so many times throughout my professional broadcasting career, and I can't believe I constantly find myself repeating this. Okay? No one is born perfect. No one is born perfect. No one is born with a copy of fucking Das Kapital. And everyone is on their own journey of learning, okay? And you have to always factor in the social environment that people are brought up in, and what they perceive to be right and what they perceive to be wrong. And if you, for example, immediately go, oh, every veteran is a child annihilator, fuck them, you literally are just writing off so many people without even factoring in how the average American perceives them. Okay? You are so echo chambered that you cannot see the world outside of your immediate circle of friends. You have to always have a broader outlook. You always have to understand like how people arrive at their positions they've arrived at. Okay? And you have to be as charitable as you possibly can be until someone shows you that they are not to be trusted. Okay? You just got to chip away at it slowly but surely. It always goes back to the same thing I always say: be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal, be normal. Okay? Be normal and understand that everyone has a different starting point. Everyone has different opinions. You need to have a better, broader outlook. Okay? Just accept that a lot of people just don't like veterans. That's not true. Where? That's literally untrue. That's not even true in this community, okay? That's not true for me. That's not true for my community. And that's certainly not true for the broader outlook. That's not true at all. The notion that many people don't like veterans is so silly. What are you talking about? This is exactly what I'm saying. It's true for me, Lamau. Exactly. Just get your head out of your ass, chatter. What the fuck? Dude, the best example for this is not even veterans. The best example for this is cops. Okay? Cops. In the real world, people fucking love cops. Americans love cops. Okay? It's even, it's with respect to like the output and what the position requires, okay? It is literally a domestic militant force that is unaccountable and untrained, or at least only trained to do violence. And yet, the approval ratings for police is so fucking high, okay? Wake up. You have to be normal when you're having these conversations. And the approval rating for veterans is even fucking higher than that. It's ridiculous. The notion that like Americans don't actually show even a fake form of reverence for members of not only law enforcement, but like the military is ridiculous. Anyway, if social conditioning wasn't such a formative tool for the powers, the powerful institutions that want to yield certain results, then the military wouldn't be recruiting in underserved neighborhoods from middle school and onward, okay? That's it. You need to check your circles, fam. Real world people hate cops. Cops even hate other cops, LMFAO. Seems like your real people are bougie 1%ers and not poor people. Dude, I hate cops, okay? I have more smoke for law enforcement than I do for fucking veterans. And what you fail to consider is, while I don't love policing as an institution and what it does, I'm still cognizant of the fact that the average normie does not think that way at all. They think cops are literally diving in front of rapist penises to stop rapes from happening, when in practice, it is the exact opposite. Either they themselves are legally committing rapes in many different states where they can straight up sexually assault people that they've apprehended, legally, mind you. New York State only recently made it illegal for cops to do that, only a couple years ago. But also, there's a major rape kit backlog. They are notoriously bad at investigating. Their clearance rates are dog shit, but most Americans don't understand that. Okay? But if you across the board run around with this kind of fucking attitude, you're too libbed up. Oh my God. Oh, fuck. Oh, this is why I always say it's impossible not to get fucking black pilled when the people you encounter in the real world have opinions that you would consider to be inherently reactionary and fascist, like straight up fucking fascist. If this is your norm, I'm trying to bring people back into the real world in the most hyper online place possible. We are not living in reality. We like to fancy. We like to make fun of the Republicans who also are hyper online and not living in reality, but we also do the same thing, just in the woke and leftist position. If you're a hedge fund manager or a billionaire, that's one thing, but being poor doesn't make you better. Conservatives love to be like poor people are conservative, like that's a good thing. We should want everyone to have the ability to get a real living wage. I don't know. Most leftists in chat are unbearable, to be honest, not gonna lie. I mean, yeah, that's just what it is. All right, whatever. Anyway, let's continue with this story because I think it's I'm getting derailed once again. But the reason why I was talking about this, Gallup polling on confidence in police around 40 to 60% depending on demo. Yeah, if you were, exactly, that's my point, is 60%, I'm pretty sure. But like the majority of people have confidence in policing as an institution, even if they think that they go out of hand from time to time. That's the norm. That's the normal person's position in general, okay? It's the same reason why if you like talk to an older black person, sometimes they'll be like, yeah, we want cops. We just want cops to do the fucking job instead of doing whatever the fuck they're doing. That's what I say all the time. I'm like, make the police actually do their jobs, please. Do your job. Do your fucking job. In theory, there's a reason why it says protect and serve the community, right? On the side of the fucking squad car. But they're not doing that. That's the problem. They're an abject failure at every step of the fucking way, which is precisely why the institution needs to be dramatically restructured. That is my attitude on this, and I've said it a million times over, and yet people seem to not understand that this fundamental principle, okay? Yeah, they protect and serve the cop community, and they protect and serve capital, not the people. And that is, I mean, historically, that's always been the case as well, for the record. Having said that, the reason why I'm talking about this is specifically because of how at odds leftists are at times with normal folk, okay? And you can't be, especially because the environment is designed against us, okay? The media landscape is designed against us. The political landscape is designed against us. We have to be extra careful and extra considerate when we are presenting our positions, okay? It's that simple. We're always playing on hard mode. And that is precisely the reason why, while we're playing on fucking hard mode, we have to make sure that we're being super deliberate with our messaging. And we don't have, Hasan, you say that, but you don't do it yourself. This is really interesting that you say this because I do this. This is part of the reason why I have been able to have such a large community as someone who is a leftist. So there are still plenty of people that understand this message. This is what I've been repeating. This is what I've been repeating from the start, okay? So unless you can present me an example where you think I failed on doing this, you know, like even the very fact that I'm approaching what you're saying sincerely is an example of this. And sometimes it actually gets out of hand. Come on, though, you very often do or say things that that really paint the movement in a bad light, and I know it's super difficult. Again, instead of vague generalizations gesturing towards whatever fucking drama slop tubers have said about me, explain the actual, give me a real example, right? This also unironically creates a unique environment where like I do end up getting stun locked and people get fucking mad at me for responding to people like this. But once again, you're not doing it. You're just vaguely gesturing at like vibes overall. Explain what you mean. Explain what you mean. Please elaborate. Anyway, while we wait, let's hear from Donald Trump on the No Kings rally.
Who are you with?
What's your response to the protest? He goes, who are you with? That's his first thing.
What's your response to the protest over the weekend, the No Kings protest?
I think it's a joke. I looked at the people. They're not representative of this country. And I looked at all the brand new signs paid for, I guess it was paid for by Soros and other radical left lunatics. It looks like it was. We're checking it out.
Yeah. That's why I pooped on them. Did you see the AI video? It was awesome. It was so funny.